This is Dom from BlackToad Studios, and today we have got a special battle report for you. We've got a 6,000 point game, 99% of the 83rd Warhost, my word bearer collection, is out, and Commissar Warwick is bringing his entire Blood Angel army, and we're doing a 6,000 point game with no super heavies, so it is going to be a lot of bodies on the battlefield here. Let's have a quick look at what the mission is going to be. So across this battlefield, we're doing a narrative mission today. We have got 6 objectives. We have got this one down here in the statue on the right at the end of the battlefield. That is worth D6 victory points. And across the battlefield, we have another one here on the landing pad that's also worth D6. Moving down here, we've got a down by the Promethean relay there, we have got one that's worth D3 at the end. And behind over here, behind these containers, is another one for D3. And over here, in both of the bastions, these ones are worth 1 point each. So that is a lot of points to get. We also have killing off characters, so killing off HQ units. Both myself and Warwick have brought a lot of HQ models. So for each one of those that's killed at the end of the battlefield, we'll also be getting a victory point as well. Worth mentioning as well, this is a narrative mission. So we're going to be allowing psychic powers to be able to use more than once per phase. So for instance, Diabolic Strength, you can be able to cast that twice, etc. And also, we're using the Apocalypse rules. We're able to use command points more than stratagems more than once per phase as well. So we'll be burning through those quite quickly, I believe. So that's that's the mission. Let's have a look at both of the forces that are coming today. Right, so here we are. It's my 6,000 points of chaos. It's the majority of the 83rd Warhost, so they're my Chaos Space Marines, my word bearers, with some demon ally there. So at the back there we can see a small contingent of demons there, and they will be joining us. So in this army here, we have got a brigade, a battalion, and the Supreme, I think it's the Supreme? Yeah, Supreme Command Attachment. So it's all kind of mixed in here, trying to fit everything into this little area. 6,000 points is a lot. So if we start over here with the demon contingent, so at the back here we've got Raka, the War Fiend. Tucked in under there we've got a Herald of Khorne. We have got a Greater Demon of Khorne there with the axe. And we've got 3 squads of Bloodletters, 2 of the icons there. Moving forward here, we've got 3 squads of 3 Blood Crushers, 2 with icons and 1 without. So that's a demon contingent. Moving on, we got to the Brigade of Chaos. So we have got a 5-man squad here with a melter gun and a plasma pistol. Same again there. We've got a 10-man squad here with a plasma pistol and a power sword on the champion and 2 flamers. Back here, we've got a 5-man squad with a plasma pistol on the champion. And then this big blob of cultists. We have got 2 squads of 20 with auto guns and 2 squads of 20 with auto pistols and crude combat weapons. Moving over, we have got a squad of 10 Havocs, 4 of which have plasma guns, and the champion has a combi plasma. We have got a Vindicator there. We have got 2 Helldrakes with Bale Flamers there. We have got 2 Lamb Raiders here. We've got a squad of 5 Terminators with combi bolters and power fist for most of them. There's Reaper auto cannon in there and chain fist on the champion. We've got a squad of 3 mutilators here. We have got a Mauler Fiend with magma cutters there. 2 rhinos with havoc launchers. A Sakaran battle tank with heavy bolter sponsons. Over here we have 5 warp talons, 6 raptors here. We've got 2 plasma pistols in there. We've got an icon. We've got a champion there also with a power sword. We've got 3 squads of raptors of 5, 2 with melter guns, 2 melter guns in each, and this one's got a power sword. We've got 2 demon princes here with wings, 1 with claws, 1 with an axe, both Mark of Khorne. 2 Chaos Sorcerers there, standard, and then we've got the Supreme HQ, and of course, leading the whole army, we have the Vulture, the figurehead of the 83rd Warhost. The Vulture is a Chaos Lord with a jump pack, a plasma pistol, and the corrupted Crozius. Next to him, we've got Core Kid, his second in command, a Chaos Lord and Terminator, and Lightning Claws. Dark Apostle here, a Chaos Sorcerer and Terminator armor with a Force Stave and a Combi Bolter, and an Exalted Champion at the back there, the Legion's Champion. So that is my 6,000 points. We have got a lot of command points. We have got a total of, I think it's 16 command points. I might be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And that is my force. Let's have a look to see what Commissar Warwick is bringing for his 6,000 points of Blood Angels.
Right, so this is the 6,000 points of Blood Angels I'm bringing today. So the full collection is out. So we're starting over here. I've grouped it roughly in terms of like the force organisation that it fits into in terms of the slots. In terms of the formations, we've got a brigade, 2 vanguard, and 2 kind of supreme command. So in total it's 16 command points, and I've spent 2 before the game has begun as well on relics and various other things. So starting with my HQ section, the Warlord for this match is the Sanguinor. So his Warlord trait is Heroic Bearing. I have 3 chaplains, one of whom is Lamartes, and this guy has an Inferno pistol. And then in terms of captains, I've got a captain with a jump pack. He also has an Inferno pistol, and he has a power sword. Then I've got a Terminator captain with a Storm Bolter, and one of the relics, I've got 2 relics today, is the Hammer of Bale, or Ball, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And that is a Thunder Hammer, 3 damage, no, -3 to your save, no penalty to hit. And he also spent another command point, and he has the Black Rage, so he'll get an extra attack on the charge. He's got a 6-up, feel no pain. Fiston in the pod. And then I've got 4 Sanguinary Priests. This guy has no upgrades whatsoever. This guy has a Power Axe. These 2 have jump packs. And this guy has a Storm Bolter Power Fist. And these guys are the Index version, not the Codex version, because they got rid of like any upgrades you could take for them, which is kind of annoying as you've got these guys modelled and you've been using them, and it just, so I've gone for the Index version, which, apparently is fair enough. And Dom, you're right with that, aren't you?
Yep.
Yep, so we've agreed that's cool.
Absolutely fine.
Yeah. Apparently that is a thing. Apparently you can just take the Index version if you want.
Yeah, you can take your Index stuff.
Yeah. And then from the Librarians, we've got a Librarian Dread. He's got all the, normal things he takes. Power, Dreadnought, close combat weapon, False Halberd, Storm Bolter. Librarian with a Full Sword and a jump pack. And that is all the HQs. So then if we do troops, I've got 5 Sniper Scouts, Camel Cloaks, 5 Scouts with close combat weapons and bolt pistols, 4 Tactical Squads. This one's got a Plasma Pistol, Plasma Gun and Plasma Cannon. This one's got a Flamer and a Missile Launcher. This one's got a Missile Launcher. This one's got a Grav Pistol and Missile Launcher. So, yeah. And then if we do heavy supports, I've got 4 heavy supports. I've got Predator Annihilator with a Storm Bolter, even though you can't see it. Bale Predator or Ball Predator with a twin assault cannon, 2 heavy bolters and a Storm Bolter, and a Land Raider Redeemer with the Flamestorm cannons, twin assault cannon, multi-melter, Storm Bolter. So all the trimmings, everything I could give it on basically all of those. And the 4th heavy support choice, we've got 8 Devastators with 4 las cannons in there. And then my fast attacks, all the yellow helmets are out in force. I've got an assault squad which has got 3 plasma pistols in there and a power sword. An assault squad that's got 1 plasma pistol and a power fist. And then bikes, I've got 3 regular bikes and an attack bike. I've got a power fist on the sergeant. I've got a multi-melter on that guy. And then, let's do flyer. Got the 1 flyer, which again has all the trimmings. Multi-melter, twin multi-melter that is. Twin las cannon, 2 two of those Storm Strike missiles. I can't remember. There's two Storm Strike missile launchers, which is cool. And then probably the biggest section of the army. This is all the elites, as it should be for Blood Angels. 3 10-man Death Company squads, and we've got Thunderhammer, Power Fist, Thunderhammer. You know, 1 in each squad, and then every single guy has a hand flamer because I was a bit short on points, and then now 1 point, so it's only additional 30 to give them all the hand flamers for days. 5 regular Terminators, all the upgrades that they normally have. 5 Assault Terminators, all Thunderhammer Storm Shields. Got a Death Company Dread, Blood Talons, 2 Heavy Flamers. Furioso, same equipment, 2 Blood Talons, 2 Heavy Flamers. Got 5 Vanguard Vets. We've got 2 Lightning Claws in there. 1 guy who's just got a chain sword and bolt pistol. Power Sword Storm Shield and Thunderhammer Storm Shield. And then the banner is just decorative. He's not an ancient. We've got 5 Sanguinary Guard, 2 Encarmine Axes. The rest of Encarmine Swords. And I guess the only other thing to say is, so yeah, in terms of 16 command points, relics, this guy is taking the Vitaeus Vitae, or however it's meant to be pronounced, which means I roll a dice every time I use a stratagem and can regain a command point on a 5. This guy, I go for the Hammer of Bale, and I also spent a point to make him have the Black Rage. And then in terms of psychic powers, we got Wings of Sanguinius, the Quickening. Oh, I've broken a Chaplain, fantastic. Wings of Sanguinius, the Quickening, and what's the other one? Shield of Sanguinius. This guy's got Shield of Sanguinius and Unleash Rage. This guy's got Wings of Sanguinius and Shield of Sanguinius. So lots of that psychic goodness. I think I have said everything. Anything else I've forgotten to cover? Okay.
Right, so now both sides have deployed. Let's go through the Blood Angel deployment here. Obviously the Blood Angels appear a lot more thin on the ground than the forces of Chaos here that are stretched across the battlefield. Although I was saying to Warwick, a lot of the Chaos stuff is more kind of the weaker element. The Marines obviously have a lot more elite. So starting on this flank here, we've got the gunship, the Predator, Dreadnought and Bikes facing off against a Chaos force there. Across here, we've got a squad of Devastators sitting on the objective in the bunker with the Dreadnought behind. Got Marines along this ruin. We're using these as ruins today, the walkways. And a squad down there, a squad down here as well, strategically placed. And across them, we've got the Chaos forces here. Got a lot of Chaos armor facing them there. We've got the Predator down here. And over along here, we've got a squad of Scouts sitting on the objective. Warwick said there, if I go after them, I'm a coward, so I'm not very sporting, but we'll see. Land Raider here. Inside, we've got a squad of Terminators. Obviously, Warwick's got a lot of stuff in reserve. So over on this flank here with the D6 objective, there's not much here at the moment, but I've got a feeling a lot of stuff's going to come in. Across the battlefield, though, we've got a large Khorne contingent over here. Moving across, down there, we've got Havocs up on the ruins there. Down behind, we've got a force of Demon Princes down there. We've got Rhinos, we've got another Helldrake, Chaos Armor in the centre. And over here as well, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Also, we've got a few things in reserve. There's lots to come on still. So like I said, the Marines don't appear to have much at the moment, but unfortunately, they've got a lot in reserve. So let's have a look to see who's going first. Right, so the Blood Angels deployed first, so they get +1 to the roll. So Warwick, do you want to roll? There's no way I can beat that. So Warwick is going first, unless, of course, I can seize. Here we go. We need this symbol, people. That is the complete opposite. Right, so let's move over to turn 1 for the Blood Angels. Turn 1 movement for the Blood Angels. So over on the left flank here, the Dreadnought, the Bikes and the Storm Raven have all pushed up. They're all coming in. They're coming in for the kill. Trying to add a gap in the centre. The Beast of Baal. He's come in for a drop pod. He's done a bit of a Luke Skywalker in a recent Star Wars film. Not going to name which one. But he's gone front of the gun line, hoping possibly to reenact that and take a bit of firepower or charge into the Vindicator and take that out. Across on this flank here, the Land Raiders pushed up. This is an advanced move and come straight into Chaos lines. The main thing is that a Death Company have come in strength here. There's 3 squads with characters have all come in. Range of the Khorne demons here. It's going to get bloody very quickly. So let's move on to turn 1, shooting and psychic. Turn 1, psychic and shooting for the Blood Angels. So over here, the Beast of Baal himself got off the quickening psychic power, which is going to increase his stats somewhat. He fired his plasma pistol as well, taking off 1 wound off the tank here. Now, it wasn't a particularly good turn for Blood Angels in the shooting phase. Over here, we had firepower coming in from the Storm Raven, from these guys down here, into the Land Raider, only causing 1 damage on there, so he's pretty strong still. Some heavy bolter fire came in from across the field, down here to the cultists, and bolter fire killing off 3 of them there, but because of the Dark Apostle being here, there's no way they can fail their leadership. Across, though, not good times for Warwick. He tried to take out his nemesis, the Mauler Fiend, so he fired the Devastator squad, that tactical squad, that tactical squad, that Predator, that tactical squad down there, and the tactical squad up there, all fired over, and did 1 wound to the Mauler Fiend. The Mauler Fiend passing pretty much all of its demon saves, taking 1 wound to the plasma cannon firing in, and yeah, that was it, unfortunately. Across the field, there wasn't much shooting to be done. A couple of bolt pistols cracked off towards the Chaos Demons, and unfortunately didn't do anything to them. But as we know, the Blood Angels, their strength is in combat, and it's going to get nasty in turn 1, assault for Blood Angels. Turn 1, assault for the Blood Angels. So over here, we had a charge go off. In combat, took the Vindicator down to 4 wounds there, so he's drastically reduced and now locked in combat, not able to do anything. Across on this flank though, it was a different story. Over here, the Death Company charged in, he got all his charges off, took out Blood Crushers here, took out Blood Crushers there. We used a counter attack here, so we did 9 casualties onto the Death Company, and Warwick's decided to use insane bravery here to keep him in combat and keep the Bloodletters locked up for my following turn, unless they leave, and of course they can't do anything. So that's it. It's been pretty nasty over on this flank. Definitely the Blood Angels have made a horrible impact on the Chaos lines. So let's move over to turn 1 for Chaos. Turn 1 movement for the Word Bearers. So over here, we've had a general advance. Everyone's moved up, advanced onto the landing platform with a couple of squads. The rest are following up behind. We've got the Exalted Champion and Dark Apostle down there. Over in the centre, the Mauler Fiend recovered 1 wound with his standard getting 1 back every turn. The cultists are running up behind him. The Mauler Fiend's on a rampage now, getting shot at by a lot of Marines. He's after some revenge. The Mutilators here have disembarked from this Land Raider and kind of moving around to take on Memphiston. Down here, Chaos Sorcerer has been able to disembark, and he's kind of seeing what he can do there. The rest of the squad also disembarked and are pushing under here with the Bloodletters towards this Land Raider. The Havoc's also moved up. Everything's going to be opening up there, hoping to pop out the Terminator Captain, so Araka can jump into combat, possibly with the Demon Princess helping him. Back here, these demons are still locked in combat. These Bloodletters have moved around slightly. The Skull Crushers are still there. The Great Demon of Khorne is going to be charging in shortly into combat against them. Bless you, Warwick. Sorry. That's all right. Helldrake there has moved up, targeting the Chaplain, and the other Helldrake is flying through the centre, hoping to put some flaming death upon the Marines there. So that's our movement. Let's see what we can do in turn 1, psychic and shooting for Chaos. Turn 1, shooting and psychic for Chaos. So in the psychic phase, the Sorcerer down here tried to cast Diabolic Strength onto the Mutilators. It went off, but unfortunately Memphiston had other plans and denied it there, so they just standed there. Also tried to smite, unfortunately that didn't work. In fact, it perilled, but we re-rolled it, so he was okay there. Shooting wise, the Land Raider over here opened up, not on the Storm Raven, but across the field onto the Predator down there, taking that out. We had more las cannon fire coming in over here as well, taking this Predator down to 6 wounds. We had the bow flamer here going off. I think it killed 1 Marine up there. Havoc launchers and bolters also fired in here to Memphiston. Didn't do anything to him. He kind of resisted a lot. Up here, the Havocs turned their gaze upon the Land Raider. And a couple of plasmas overheated, so the champion died and one of the other plasmas died. We did a fair few wounds over here. The Sakara as well fired in, so it's taking it all the way down to 7 wounds there onto the Land Raider. And finally over here as well, the Helldrake fired in here, 2 wounds and 2 saves were made with a reroll. So that's it for shooting. We did a fair bit of damage to the Blood Angel armor. Probably not enough, and we're going to go into assault now, and hopefully these guys can deal with him, but we're going to see. So let's move on to turn 1, assault for chaos. Right, turn 1, assault for chaos, and it's a bit of a funny one really. So over here we have Bloodletters charge in here. Warwick did a counter attack and killed them off quite quickly after I did my attacks over here with the Greater Demon of Khorne. He charged in here, he went for his sweeping blow attacks and killed off 2 of the Death Company, which is a little bit disappointing. The Herald of Khorne charged into Lamartes there, didn't do any damage but then got killed by the Crozius there. The Blood Crushers killed off a chaplain and followed up into the Death Company. Over here, stalemate, both attacked but weren't able to do anything to one another. The lone Death Company up here was taken out by the Bloodletters as they crawled all over him and killed him. So Karen decided to charge into the Land Raider. Took a bit of damage going in, but also inflicted a wound on the Land Raider to lock it up and prevent any shooting next turn. Over here, the Mutilators charged in, didn't do anything. They fluffed their attacks going in. Damage wasn't particularly great, and they took 2 wounds back from Memphiston and took one of them down to 1 wound. And that was it for assault. So a little bit of damage on both sides, a bit of tactical, getting Sakaren in there, and the Death Company are still ruling this corner over here. So let's move into turn 2 for the Blood Angels. Turn 2 movement for the Blood Angels, and if you look down the centre here, it's looking rather epic. Forces everywhere just spread across. Blood Angels definitely gone on the offensive, and the Word Bearers and Chaos are kind of doing a bit of a counter attack. So over here, the Storm Raven dropped off his payload. We've got 5 Terminators, an Apothecary, a Priest, a Dreadnought. The Bikes and the other Dreadnought have also pushed up right up against here, ready to assault in. The Storm Raven then has flown over this way to put in some fire support into the centre of the Chaos armour. The Dreadnought over here has moved out. He's eyeing up the battlefield to see if they need some support. Probably a little bit kind of put out that he's back here rather than in the midst of it. Moving across. Centre still holding strong. No one is moving. They are holding the line across the centre. The Scouts are still hiding in here. Terminators have disembarked. They're moving in towards the Bloodletters there, into the cover. Librarian has jumped in here behind, putting some psychic support probably down here. And the Captain over here is moving up. He's coming in to support the Chaplain against the Helldrake there. And over here it's pretty much stayed the same. Lamartes is moving up against the Bloodthirster there. So that is the movement. A lot going on. Now let's move into turn 2, psychic and shooting for the Blood Angels. Right, turn 2, psychic and shooting. So we had Unleash Rage cast upon these Terminators from the Librarian there, so it's +1 attack. And the only other psychic power that went off was Shield of Baal onto the Devastator squad that are in the bunker at the moment. Shooting wise, the Mauler Fiend finally succumbed to a lot of revenge shooting from the Devastator squad, these 2 tactical squads, and the Predator at the back here, all fired in. And I think it was actually down to this squad of 5 Scout Snipers in the end, with a couple of mortal wounds that finished him off. The 2 tactical squads here fired up into the Helldrake. and took him down to 6 wounds. So that's some pretty good shooting there from them. Across the field, the only other shooting really we had going on was down with the Terminators and the bikes and the Dreadnoughts, putting a lot of damage into the cultist squads. They're all pretty much down to half strength along here, so it's going to be some nasty casualties via morale coming up. And the Storm Raven here fired the missiles into the Vindicator. Lascans and Multi-Melter went in here, taking the Land Raider down to 6 wounds there. So some pretty nice shooting from the Blood Angels there. We're going to move on to Assault, and it's going to get a lot worse for the Chaos, I believe. Let's see what they can do. Turn to Assault for the Blood Angels. So over here, the Assault has gone very poorly for Chaos. Over here, 2 Juggernauts died, but it took out 3 of the Death Company with an interrupt there. The Great Demon of Khorne has fallen. Lamartis came in, did a lot of damage, and Death Company kind of finished him off. Over here, the Helldrake is hanging on with 2 wounds after Terminator also assaulted in there. Terminator Captain with his relic hammer and did a lot of damage on there. Over here, the fight continues between 2 tanks. Another wound has been taken off of the Land Raider by the Sicaran. Land Raider hit back, but the Sicaran passed his save. Down here, the Terminator's charged into the Bloodletters there, killing off quite a few. The Bloodletters killed one of the Terminators and then did a poor morale check, and only remained 2 in that squad there. Moving along, we got Memphis in there. He fought back, killing off one of the Mutilators and doing 2 wounds on another one. The Mutilators fought back, taking 3 wounds off of Memphis in there. So he's pretty badly wounded. So it's quite good there for the Chaos. Moving over. The Cultists suffered quite dramatically down here with morale. None of them were assaulted, but in the morale phase there, they kind of lost quite heavy casualties up here. This squad maintained ground still. The Rhino has been destroyed by the Dreadnought there. Furioso. The guys have disembarked, no casualties. And over here, the Land Raider's still holding on. 7 wounds remaining, so that's pretty good going. And that is it for Assault. So let's move on into turn 2 for the Forces of Chaos. Turn 2 movement for the Forces of Chaos. So across here, the 2 Demon Princes have flown up here, and they're going to be hopefully joining in the demons there and dealing with this Death Company invasion. Araka the Warfiend is now underneath here, and he's going to be charging into the Land Raider in the assault phase, as it's currently locked in. The squad of Marines that are underneath are moving in to suicide themselves unknowingly into the Terminators there. Moving across the battlefield, the Cultists are charging up the centre still. They're still moving up. They're not too far now from the Marine lines. They're still holding strong. Now, I've had a lot of reserves coming in this turn. So we've got a squad of Raptors up here on the landing pad. We've got 3 squads of Raptors and the Vulture down on this flank. Kind of a nice kind of middle point between that Dreadnought there, the Dreadnoughts there. The squad that are inside the Land Raider have disembarked. The Land Raiders push back. They're going to put some fire into these Terminators. We've got squads along here as well. They're going to be pumping some firepower in there. There's a lot of targets in here, and they're all quite intimidating targets. And finally, the only other thing we've done this movement phase, we move over this way, we use Tide of Traitors on the 5-man Cultist squad, which have now come up the backfield here, and they're targeting these scouts here. And also, sorry, this Helldrake here is broken rank and he's flown away from the captain and the chaplain. So let's move into shooting and psychic for Chaos. Right, so turn 2 shooting for Chaos. So over here we had plasma guns, bolt guns, these bolt guns down here, and a Havoc launcher here, firing off into the drop pod there and finally destroying it. So that is now gone, luckily. We also had the Vindicator fire into it as well, did a couple of wounds. The las cannons here fired off into the direction of the Predator across the field here, taking a couple more wounds off, but because of its like slowly deteriorating chart on the Land Raider, it's a bit harder to hit. Also, the heavy bolters fired up into the walkways here, killing off a couple of the Marines. And down here, we did a fair bit of damage here. The melter gun here with a couple of other shots came in and killed off the dreadnought there. Other fire from the cultists, this squad, and from the raptors behind. Fired in there and killed off all but one of the squad so far. And back here, the dreadnought took fire from the other raptor squads and has taken it down to, I don't know how many wounds.
5 now.
5 wounds, so it's done a few bits of damage there. Right, so that's it for shooting. We're going to move on now into assault, and hopefully the Chaos can push home this advantage. We will see. Turn to assault for Chaos. So over here, they're able to push their advantage ever so slightly. These 5 Marines with Diabolic Strength charged in, killing off the biker formerly known as Leroy Jenkins. He is now gone, and then they've consolidated up towards the dreadnought there. These 5 charged into the priest, killing him off. Over here, the fight wasn't as great. There's 4 Terminators. I believe 1 got killed, and they took a bit of damage, the Marines, but they're still holding on there. No assaults over here. They're holding the line at the moment. We'll see what they can do next turn if anyone survives. Moving across the battlefield. Next charge we had was over with the Helldrake there. Helldrake killed off 1, I think, if anyone there, and took no damage back in return. So he's holding them up in the middle. Down here, the Beast of Baal himself killed off the 2 Mutilators, and he's now standing in front of the wounded Vindicator from turn 1, possibly kind of winking at him suggestively. Down here, the 5 Marines charged in and were quickly hammered back, and just red smears line the sand over here. Bloodletter's not able to do anything to the Terminators in return. Araka charged in, doing some damage there, so taking the Land Raider down to 3 wounds. And the only other charges here, Demon Prince charged in, killing I think 4 of the Death Company off, and the Bloodletters as well charging in and killing off the remaining. So that is pretty good. It's been pretty even split over this assault. We've had some good bits for Chaos and some bad bits. So let's move on now into turn 3 for the Blood Angels to see if they're able to push the tide of Chaos back. Turn 3 movement for the Blood Angels, and Warwick has brought in the cavalry, or the elite, as he faces off against the demons of the warp, the raptors. So it's quite impressive now, the battlefield. Let's have a quick pan around and see what it's looking like. They've got stuff everywhere. There's small skirmishes breaking out all over the place. This is definitely a very, very bloody game. So let's have a look. So over here, a squad of Assault Marines have come into the corner here to potentially take out the very weakened Helldrake. Another squad have come in here to contest the squad of cultists before they're able to jump onto the objective. 2 heroes over here, the chaplain and the captain, are moving in with the Death Company over there against the squads of Chaos Demons along these lines. The librarian down here is jumped over to face off against a sorcerer, which is just over there, as well as the Sanguine Priest, and Menton is there moving across here. The Storm Raven, still ruling the skies, is up here, and he's moving along, probably going to put some firepower into the Sakaran as the Land Raiders pulled back out of combat. And that is pretty much it, really, and it's going to get very, very grim for the Chaos, I believe, in this turn. So let's move on to turn 3, Psychic and Shooting for the Blood Angels. Turn 3 shooting for the Blood Angels, and just saying to Warwick, the most devastating turn so far. So this squad of Devastators, previously they've been shooting at the Maulithine, but the Maulithine died, so they fired the las cannons over into the Land Raider, destroying the Land Raider. The Land Raider then exploded, destroying the Vindicator. That did not explode, luckily. The Storm Raven also shooting, took out the Rhino that was down there and fired shots down into Sakaran and destroying that as well. So that was 4 tanks gone in 1 turn, which is pretty nasty. Across here we had Hand Flamers coming in from the Death Company, killing off the Skull Crusher there. A couple of bolter rounds coming in, causing a wound on the Demon Prince. The light arms from the bolters up here, well, the small arms of the bolters, fired in, killing the whole 20-man Colt squad in the centre. Across here, We lost 5 Raptors. I think 3 to Smite from the Librarian and 2 from the Stormbolters there, killing a whole squad, which is pretty nasty. And yeah, not good. So I think that is all the shooting done for the Blood Angels. Let's now move into Assault, turn 3. Turn 3 Assault for the Blood Angels. So over here, the Captain and the Chaplain charged into combat with the Demon Prince, and the Captain killed the Demon Prince quite quickly before the Demon Prince was even able to react. Over here, the Death Company charged into the Bloodletters, kind of destroying them quite easily. The Captain, following suit, charged into Demon Prince, fluffed his attacks and took 3 wounds back from the axe coming down on him. Over here as well, we had a failed charge against the Cultists. 1 died to Overwatch. We had a failed charge against the Helldrake, and I think another one fell over there. Down here, the Terminators finally killed off the last Bloodletters there. Down underneath this building here, the Priest, Librarian, and Mephiston charged in, killing off the Sorcerer there quite easily between the 3 heroes. Another squad of Blood Angels charged into combat with the Helldrake there. 1 of the Marines up there fell. The Helldrake took 1 wound there, so he's still holding on there against the more units charging in. Down here, however, we had the squad charging in here. They charged in, killed a squad of Raptors, and then assaulted into the Vulture there. The Vulture killed 2 of them in return. The Dreadnought attempted a charge on this squad here. 2 melter guns got 6s, and yeah, he went pop. He's gone. Down here, however, the Terminators carried on, killing 2 of them off and taking 1 wound back. So it's a very bloody fight. I would say, however, it kind of went in the Blood Angels' favour. But let's see what the Chaos can do in their turn 3. Turn 3 movement for Chaos. So we brought in the last of the reserves. We've got the Terminators down here. The squad of Terminators, the Sorcerer and the Lord. We're going to try and see if we can do something about this Marine line here and take the centre. Down here, the Raptors that were behind here, flown over. A couple of melter guns hopefully should deal with this guy. The Raptors that are up on the landing pad have come down to help the Vulture against the 3 Marines there. Back here, the Land Raider has reversed again, leaving it open for the other squads here to try and deal with the Dreadnought and assist the Marines that are in combat against the Terminators. In theory, this should all work. Horaka, stalking beneath the walkways, has come across. He's seen a nice little group of heroes, and he's going to go all D&D on them and take them out, hopefully. Down here, the Warp Talons have now come in as well to join in with the Cultists, and hopefully they can get an assault off on the Assault Marines there. The Helldrake here has also flown over, and that is pretty much it for the movement phase. So let's see what the Chaos Forces can do in their shooting and psychic. 3 psychic and shooting for Chaos. So the squad here, and with the Helldrake there, they took out 3 of the Assault Marines there, causing a lot of damage. Over here, the plasma guns from the Havoc squad up here, all overcharged, rapid fire down into the Land Raider and blew it up there. Didn't explode, just gone there. Across, we had the Terminators down here putting fire up there. They didn't do anything. It was down to the Sorcerer doing a smite, and I think got some more damage from somewhere else, but a few of them died up there, down to 5. Across here, however, we had a smite go off here. We got a high number. We did 6 wounds to the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought blew up, then killed off 6 Chaos Marines in total and blew up the Land Raider there. So pretty devastating stuff. Across in the centre, however, the squad of Raptors fired the melter guns in, and I think in total caused 8 wounds on the Sanguinaur and killed him there. So he is now gone, leaving his guard looking very vulnerable there on the flank. So that is it for shooting. We're going to move on to assault, and hopefully Chaos can get even closer. Oh, sorry, in psychic, we've got warp time off and diabolic strength onto the Terminators, so they pushed forwards even further towards the squad down there. Hopefully they'll be able to get a charge off, but stranger things have happened. So let's move on to assault. Turn 3 assault for chaos. So over here, the Demon Prince finally killed off the captain there. Down over here, Araka charged into the librarian and quickly decapitated him, adding 1 to his movement for future turns. Very handy. Across the battlefield here, we had the Helldrake charge in. The Warp Talons tried as well, but because a few got killed in the shooting, it was too far. But the Helldrake came in there and assaulted them. I think he took 1 wound back in the assault. Across here as well, I think another member of the squad died up there, but the Helldrake is still holding strong there, which is pretty good. Down here, the Terminators made it into combat, dealing some fair bit of damage. So 7 Marines are left, so we killed a few off there. The Terminators took 1 wound back in response. Across the battlefield, down in this corner, 1 Terminator remains by himself as the rest of his squad have fallen. He did a couple of wounds onto the champion there in revenge. The Sanguine Guard are down to 2. They caused 2 wounds onto the Vulture there. So it's kind of a mixed bag of assault. Still a lot to go into. Warwick has still got a squad in reserve, which I'm sure will appear. And the little battles and skirmishes are occurring all across this area. His forces are now desperate to move to strategic points. So let's move into turn 4 for the Blood Angels. Turn 4 movement for the Blood Angels. So the captain here, after killing 1 Demon Prince, has got a taste for it. And he's now moving against the other Demon Prince there. Although the chaplain with the Death Company have jumped over and are facing up against these Havocs here. The Storm Raven has gone into hover mode. So he's got like a nice selection of things to fire at along the back of the Chaos lines here. The Priest has jumped over to the fallen statue and onto the objective there. Across here as well, the Terminators that have been holding his pipeline and moved up as well to face against Uraka, who has now got to face against Memphiston, who's gained a couple of wounds from the Priest below. Over here as well, the squad that are up on the walkways are now descended behind the Terminators, hoping to get them from behind. Although I'm not sure it's really going to help them, but maybe it will. Can't hurt unless the Terminators hit them. Down here, it's pretty much everyone is locked in combat, so the battlefield remains stationary. Then we go towards the back here, and you can see that the last squad, the veterans, have now jumped in, and they are trying to corner with the other Assault Marines, the Chaos Forces that are over in their backfield. So it's all to play for now. Some big, bold moves. Let's see if they're going to pay off for the Blood Angels. So let's move into their Shooting and Psychic turn 4.
And then a few other little things like killing the couple of cult, little things.
Yeah, minor. Right. Turn 4, Psychic and Shooting for Blood Angels. So over here, the Helldrake fell through bolt pistols in combat there. Had some plasmas and bolt pistols coming through, killing 2 of the Warp Talons off here. Lots of bolt pistols everywhere. Warwick's definitely kind of scraping a barrel, as it were, for some of these. So bolt pistols here as well. Did 1 damage there. Down here as well, Uraka and the other Demon Prince took fire from the Storm Raven here, as it split its fire between the Demon Princes. So that one's down to 1 wound. Also, this one is down to 1 wound as well, so that's not good. Moving across as well, we had sniper fire going into Uraka. Didn't do anything there. Bolt pistols came in here and didn't just bounce off the Terminator armor. Over on the right flank though, the Devastators, backed up by the Predator, fired their shots into this Raptor squad, killing all but 1 there. And bolt gun fire from down here fired up into the landing pad, causing a few casualties up there. But that is it. We're going to move on now into Assault and see if the Blood Angels are able to push into combat over on this flank over here against the Cultists and the Warp Talons. So that's what they can do in turn 4 Assault. Turn 4 Assault for the Blood Angels. So over here, both assault squads managed to charge in. They took minor damage. The Cultists lost 4 of them. The Warp Talons are now down to 1. The champion held his own, killing off 3 of the Assault Marines, but he's not going to last long against there. Over here, Their Helldrake continues to battle, and it's taken another bit of damage there, still holding on there. Down here, the Terminators were assaulted in the rear. Not what Terminators like, but they killed off the squad in front of them. Now they're going to be able to turn their attention to those behind. Across here, the Sanguine Guard, the last member, he fought back, but unfortunately was killed. The Terminator over in that corner over there has fallen, and killing off the Exalted Champion as well. Across the field here, Uraka has fallen at long last. He has died. The Beast of Baal killed him. And finally, the only last thing to report is the Terminator. Actually, he caused 4 wounds onto the Demon Prince. The Demon Prince then we rolled 4 saves, 3 of which passed, 1 failed, and I used my last reroll and passed.
5.
Yes.
5 wounds.
Oh yeah, 5. Yeah, so I passed 4 normally and then a reroll.
Those 5, they all do 3 damage, so that would have been 15 damage.
Yeah.
You made 4 demon saves, then rerolls and made a 5th.
Yeah, so the Demon Prince being on 1 wound would have easily died. But unfortunately he survived and then fought back and took the Terminator Captain down to 2 wounds. So there you go, have some of that. So we're going to move on now for Chaos turn 4. And let's see if we're able to do anything about this down here. Turn 4 movement for Chaos. Myself and Warwick just discussing that the battle, it can go either way now. It's been a very brutal, and at the moment it appears there's a lot more Blood Angels on the battlefield than Word Bearers, but hopefully that's all going to change soon. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. So anyway, over here the Raptors are pushed up with the Vulture behind, hoping to take this objective from the Blood Angels. The Chaos forces that have been held back by the Terminator squad are now moving up there. Moving over, the Lord and the Sorcerer are hoping to get themselves further that way to deal with the squads of Marines. And that is about it for movement. Most of the Chaos forces are already locked in combat or in positions where they're not going to be going anywhere. So let's move on to turn 4, Psychic and Shooting. Turn 4, Shooting and Psychic for Chaos. So it's quite a quick one as there's not much that can actually shoot at the moment. Tried a couple of Psychic powers on the Lord. Tried a bit of warp time on the Lord to get him closer there. Also tried a bit of Diabolic Strength onto the Terminators down here. Unfortunately though, both were countered by a particular character that's hiding under there at the moment, and they're both denied. So over on this flank, we had plasma and bolt pistols come roaring in, killing off 2 of the Devastator squad in there. And the melter gun from this guy came in, stripping off 3 wounds off this Predator. So it's down to 1. So it's very close to being destroyed. And that is it for shooting. So we're going to move on now into Assault. Right, turn 4 Assault. And over here, the Demon Prince on 1 wound, killed off the Terminator Lord. And yeah, struck vengeance for his fallen brother. Across down here, the fight continued. The Warp Talon fell, unfortunately. The cultists did quite well. They killed off 3 of the Assault Marines, only lost 1 of their number against the return attack. Across here, we had the Terminator Lord charge in, killing off a couple of the Marines there, kind of slowing down their attacks. And I don't think we did anything with the Helldrake, although the Helldrake didn't take any damage either. That's pretty good going. Down here, the Terminator, the Sorcerer and Terminator armor charged in, killing off 3 of the Marines with his 4th stave, and then the remaining Terminators killed off the last 2 members there. So these are all freed up now, ready to move on. Up here, the Raptors and the Vulture's down there, assaulted up into this position, killing off several of the squad, but also losing a few as well in the return attack there. So there's 3 of that squad left. And it's 3 of the Devastators and the Priest there. So that is it for Assault. Moving in now to turn 5 for the Blood Angels. Turn 5 movement for the Blood Angels, and Warwick's used the last stratagem he had. Upon Wings of Fire, he's redeployed the Death Company all the way up here towards this objective. So this could be a bit of a game changer there. Also the Storm Ravens turned around and he's going to put some fire into this objective up here. So yep, the Blood Angels are going for full-on victory. not happy with their corner. They decided to come over to the Chaos corner. Other movement, we've got the Beast of Baal himself, Memphiston, has moved up and had 1 wound replaced, so he's back on full strength there. Terminators have advanced onto that objective there. That's worth D3 points. Over here as well, the other assault squad have jumped over and have already landed there as well, with the Vanguard veterans are taking on the last of the cultists here, as this Space Marine is unable to finish them off. And finally, the other movement here, we got the Chaplain and the Martes coming up against a 1 wound Demon Prince. So that is it for movement. Let's see what the Blood Angels are able to do in their shooting and psychic turn 5. Right, turn 5, psychic and shooting for the Blood Angels. Tried a couple of psychic powers back here, Wings of Sanguinius, but they were being denied by the Chaos Sorcerer. Down here as well, a couple of bolt pistols, well, a plasma pistol in combat killed off a cultist here. Plasma pistols and bolt pistols fired in here, causing 3 wounds to the Helldrake, so he's on 1 wound at the moment. Probably going to die in combat. There was a bit of fire from the snipers here, from the Predator here, from the Storm Raven over here, and killed off all the cultists in that tower. So that point is now, it's clear. And down here as well, a few bolt pistols went off in combat, killing off 1 of the Raptors. But that is it. So we're going to move on now into turn 5 assault for the Blood Angels. Turn 5 assault for the Blood Angels. So over here, the Helldrake has finally gone down. Their squad, they lost 5 in combat against the Lord with Lightning Claws. So that's not looking good. They passed the morale luckily, so they're still holding strong. Down here, however, the cultists have been greatly reduced. I've got 1 cultist left, and the rest have fallen to the Vanguard and the normal Assault Marines there, and it's not good, so they're all dead. Across as well, down here, the Death Company charged in, killing off the cultists. They're just away from the objective, but the Chaos can still get up there and secure it with the troops against the Death Company, but we will see. Down here as well, the fight for this bunker continues. 1 Raptor remains against 1 Devastator, and there's a Sanguine Priest in here?
Yeah, Sanguine Priest.
Sanguine Priest there, so it's still contested on this objective here. So let's move on now to turn 5 for Chaos, to see if they can push back the Blood Angels. Right, so it's all to play for now into turn 5 for Chaos Marines. Everybody up here has advanced. We're on the landing platform. Across we have a squad of Death Company, although we are just out of range of the objective at the moment. We can probably get a warp speed, warp time, just to get onto this objective here. Also down here, same kind of tactic. We've got 5 Terminators moving up with a Sorcerer. We can get this same spell off. As I said, it's a narrative game, so we can cast it more than once. And we're going to try and get up and potentially assault them with the Terminators. Fingers crossed. The only other movement we had was down here with this lone Raptor. He's got an Obsession and a Melter Gun that's firing hot, and he's going to fire into that Predator and kill it. So let's move in to turn 5 Psychic and Shooting for Chaos. Turn 5, Psychic and Shooting. So over here we've got a warp time, so these guys are now on the objective. We've got a couple of smites off as well from different sources. And took out several of this squad here. We also had Combi Bolter fire going in and did nothing to them. They're still standing there. We've got potentially we can get a charge off. We had the Reaper autocannon, Reaper autocannon fire back and hit the Predator and finally destroyed it after the Melter Gun here fired and did nothing there. So that's it. We're going to try Assault. We can get a charge off with the Sorcerer. We need an 11. That would be really handy if we can get him in combat with the Death Company there. But that's it for them. We're going to get another charge down here as well in there. So let's move into turn 5 Assault. So turn 5 Assault for Chaos. So down here we attempted a charge. It was a long charge, 11 inches. Failed that, not really too surprising. Nothing happened to Overwatch. Down in the bunker here, we cleared out the remains of the Devastator squad and the Priest have gone. Over there, the Chaos Lord killed off the last 3 Marines. And over on the far side, I don't know if we can see it, the cultist that was holding them all back has fallen, cut apart. It's not known what's happened to his corpse, although there are rumours about Blood Angels. So that's the end of turn 5. So Warwick, do you want to roll to see if the game continues?
So I'll roll it up right in the middle.
Right, here we go. No, so it's over. Ooh. So we're going to have a quick add up of the scores. Right, so this is the add up so far. So currently, the Chaos Army has killed 8 characters, so we get 8 points on that. The Blood Angels have killed 7 characters, so they've got 7 points. So currently it's 8-7. So as we said at the beginning of the game, this objective is worth 1. Okay, so that puts Chaos on 9-7. And then we've rolled up for the objective points and the D3s. This one is worth 1, so that puts them up to 8. So it's 9-8 so far to Chaos. And then the Blood Angels have already rolled for this one as well. So the score is 9-all currently. Both of us are holding one of the D6 objectives. So we've got one down here with the priest who's sitting on there quite happily. And of course, over here on the landing pad, the Chaos Marines are holding that. So we're 9-all, and it's a D6 victory points each. It's all on these dice rolls.
Whoever rolls highest wins.
Whoa, it's big stuff, people.
The same roll, it's a draw.
Yep. So, guests first. Warwick, you want to roll your red dice? Do not get a 6. A 5. Oh no. Right. Okay, so I'm rolling a Geeks Wargaming dice. So, let's hope they're with me. No! Oh no. So, that's it, guys. The final score is 14-13 to Blood Angel. Such a close game. It's gone both ways. Warwick, have you got a unit of the match or a model or?
Well, it may not have really transferred on camera too well. We didn't really cover it too much. But I had a Sanguinary Priest with the Vitaeus Vitae or whatever it was called. And he gained me over the course of the match, I reckon about 6 command points, maybe.
Yeah.
I used a lot of command points for re-rolls, and when I used a stratagem, we didn't really cover it too much, but he was just regaining them. So actually, that made a pretty crucial difference. So that was really key. Also, I felt the beat stick captain, I know he with you making your 5 demon saves in the end, he didn't quite get that last demon prince.
Yeah.
But he did a lot of work. He killed a demon prince on his own. He really wounded a Helldrake up. And then Mephiston denied a lot of powers as well. Mephiston was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mephiston. Yeah. To be fair, Mephiston was down here, came up with his drop pod, came in, killed a lot of stuff here. Killed the mutilators. Killed the sorcerer under there, killed Uraka, kind of moved up. He didn't quite kill the Vindicator because your las cannon team came in, shot the Land Raider, blew up the Vindicator.
He took a load of wounds off it though, so he did a lot of damage, but also in the middle of the board he had just like a bubble of Deny the Witch.
Yep.
And it was +1 with his Psychic Hood, and he denied loads of powers as well, so he did a lot, and he ended the game on full health complement.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good going. For myself, it's probably a draw between quite boring ones. But this 4-man squad originally started with 5, and they came in, they killed off a bike squad, they came in, killed off the remains of a Terminator squad, and they're still here, and it's such a small squad of Marines, and somehow they've been quite key in killing off things off, and also probably the Terminators, because they came in last minute and kind of held the middle up, took a lot of fire, and they're still going and killed off the Predator with the last shots.
Yeah, from my point of view, those Terminators made a real impact because they cleared out those tacticals. They really put pressure on this, which was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then I just thought of 2 more for me potentially. The guys here, they took out a lot of tanks. They killed one tank, they killed another one.
Yeah.
And also the Death Company and Lamarties back there, they did really well because they secured that whole flank. So
yeah,
there was quite a few ones who were quite good for me. Then sort of like shameful was the Sanguinor. Came in and failed a 3d6 charge.
Yeah.
I re-rolled it with a command point, it failed again, and then he just got shot by a melting on the face and died.
Yeah, the Sanguinor, I could see on Warwick's face, a disappointment, as he got double melted, and there wasn't much left of him, unfortunately. Going on to shameful models, possibly Uraka, he kind of bounced back and forth and then got butchered. And the Greater Demon of Khorne, I haven't had much luck with him on the channel so far. He killed like 3 Marines and then got killed. And he's like 300 points, and that's just dead. Shameful
one for me. Land Raider costs like 330 odd points.
Yeah.
What did the Land Raider do?
The Land Raider did nothing. So yeah, Warwick's Land Raider came down, dropped off the Terminators and the captain, and then got locked up in combat pretty much the entire time, and then just shot when he left combat and didn't really do anything, which is a bit of a shame really. For the amount of points you pay for some of these units, they do nothing. Yeah. But somehow, you know, the simple units like a 5-man Chaos Marine squad or a squad of cultists or snipers as well, they get ignored, but somehow they then achieve more than what's expected of them. So guys, I hope you've all enjoyed this battle. It's been really good fun. It's nice to have a big 6,000 point game without any super heavies and a lot of infantry. Our dead piles are massive. They're filling worktops at the moment. Considering how much we had to start with, it's pretty amazing stuff. So this is Dom from BlackToad Studios. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please give us a like or a subscription if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Take care.